Capricorn.
Hello everyone, I have an announcement to make before we get on with this month's forecast, and we have some exciting news. We've developed what we call the audioscopes, and this is coming in addition to what you get here on YouTube. There are YouTube videos outlined what you can expect and when, outlines the dates and so forth. The audioscopes though, they go a little bit deeper into the material and what you can expect emotionally, spiritually, and how to roll with the energies and the influences coming in the current months. So you can check it out for your convenience. I'm putting down the link right here and also down in the description area so that you can find it there on the home page. Now these audioscopes run approximately 15 minutes. Hello Capricorn, this is your August forecast for 2013. And this month we have a lot going on in your 7th house of relationships, commitment, partnerships, and so forth, or how it is you relate to people one-on-one, okay? Because it's the 7th house is always about the other, as the 1st house is about ourselves. So your focus pretty much is going to be on somebody here that's going to be needing your attention, maybe a little bit, somewhat more this month. Now, Mars is there, so it's giving you the action and the drive to kind of really kind of push through on matters that you need to deal with this situation. Mercury has been lingering in this area here for a long time because it went retrograde. It's going to pick up speed and zoom through Leo really quick and get into Virgo. Actually, it's going to be moving through 2 signs here in 14 days, and it's been in this sign and in this house here for like 7 to 8 weeks. So anyhow, the 7th house, you have it in Cancer, the sign of Cancer. And Cancer is all about how we nurture, you know, 7th house being the other. So these energies are more like how you can focus on your beloved, whether that is a partner, whether it's a professional working, a business partner could be too, how you can balance out and nurture them, or it could be anybody that you're really close to, but at this time seemingly is needing more of your attention. So this is where the big energy is going to be for now. Jupiter is going to be here in this area for an entire year until summer of 2014. Now the good news on that is that Jupiter is beautiful. Jupiter is the giver. It gives you abundance of energy, and this is where this is going to be spilling out into this area. This may create a closer bond between you and the one you love. If you're not married, many of you will come to see that you will be hearing wedding bells ringing here in the distance sometime. And if you're not engaged, looking for it, well, this is the time for that kind of commitment to come in. So beautiful energies just in itself by the placement. We're not looking at the transits and the aspects yet, because this month does have a couple of ruffled energies. Just to warn you a little bit, there's 3 different areas in this month where we're going to see challenges and butting of heads and so forth. So let's just get the good news first. The new moon this month is going to be in your 8th house for intimacy and those things that are really spiritually deep down important to us, and how we value ourselves and value the partner, because it is the 8th house. In the sign of Leo, there's a part of you that really wants to feel a little playful this month, to express that side of your intimate nature, to share that a little bit deeper than perhaps at other times, just because the sun is moving through here. And we also have the new moon here in the 8th house. So it's time to plant those seeds, which we do every new moon. And the area for your affirmation, which is nothing more than just promises to yourself of what you intend to focus on, this month would be all about wanting to create more space in the future to have these intimate, playful moments, that Leo Scorpio blend, because it's in the sign of Leo, in the house of Scorpio, and of course that is playful intimacy right there. Now you could also say that it is other people's money, banks, whether you're going to be looking for new loans or any kind of grant or funding, consolidating loans. Good time to do that while the sun is going through here, as long as, she is receiving good aspects. And then let's look at Venus in the ninth house, reaching, for higher aspirations, reaching for the meaning of life in many ways, because it's the Jupiter Sagittarian house. So it gives it that quality. Jupiter is not here, but the house is ruled by it. So you might be looking at feelings that are very expansive, very Jupiterian, very optimistic, very philosophical, trying to put your emotions and your feelings and your longings in this higher perspective to see it more as an overall whole, and analyzing it a whole lot too, because this Venus is in the sign of Virgo, and Virgo is, how we analytically place things into our mental files. Then we have full moon here, end of the month, on the 20th of August. That will fall into your second house of income. So you might see a little cash flow extra coming in by that time. And the full moon will also be triggering your feelings of worth. So it might also be a time where you're going to want to talk about, how to expand your level of income, for example. But let's start on the top of the month here. Capricorns, we start off with a very beautiful healing couple of days where Venus and Mars, they're going to kind of line up with Chiron, and Venus and Mars is also sextile to one another. So I see a very beautiful romantic time here between the 7th and the 9th house. So that's you and your intimate partner, your significant other. If you are single, this would be the time to meet somebody. And if you do, and it's a new partner, well then your charts together, your new chart that you create in your meeting is going to be beamed by this energy that's going to be lasting for time to come. And also because we know that Jupiter is there too. Way beautiful time for Capricornians to meet new love. For those of you already in a marriage or a committed partnership, it is a very romantic time for you guys to go out and do something. Maybe even for those of you that can and do have a little vacation time, travel would be in the picture here. Ninth house loves to move out, to places you haven't been before. Then we have Mercury moving out of your 7th house into the 8th house on the 8th of August. This is right after the new moon, a couple of days later. And it's been in this area of the 7th house, like I said, for a couple of months. So now you're going to feel that shift. The focus won't be as intensely on one-on-one as it has been, whether with your partner, your spouse, a business acquaintance, a parent, because it is in the sign of Cancer, and that rules our parents. Maybe you've had to have a lot of one-on-one with a parent. But whatever the deal is, it's moving out of there now. August is going to be laden of it. And then you're going to move into more intimacy, speaking deeper, sharing deeper. And you'll love that too. Now, here, July, all of your planets were like clustered in here in the 7th house of relationships. So I see how a lot of things kind of came up to the surface that you were talking about, sharing, clearing out, and so forth. And there's still a little bit more clearing to come. That may be what we're seeing later on in the month that needs to kind of come up to the surface and rid ourselves with. But then here on the 11th, we have a little bit of a tiff, and that's the first confrontation when Mercury and Saturn meets up in a square. And this is where you probably are going to feel that you have to stand your grounds. Saturn is karma, of course, and it's coming from your 11th house. So something socially, in a group or something maybe that a group has said or done might be triggering you, and you're going to have to clarify. But then it looks like whatever that is all about, there's going to be some really nice solution to it on the 14th when we have a good Mercury here to Uranus, which might just make everything fall into place pretty quickly, instantaneously, like one of those, oh my God, That's great, you know. And Venus, planet of love, is going to be moving out of this ninth house of travel and higher thoughts and philosophy, and moving into your house of career. So you might start feeling that this is the time from the 16th of August to start really thinking about what it is you would love to do. And you would love to work with something that's artsy, because you have Libra on your 10th house, meaning that you love to work with something that is either artsy or musical, Venus inspired. And now having Venus come in here upon where she rules, that's just going to give it even more so that kind of a kick. Venus is going to be there for a while, so you'll be feeling and tuning into it. And then we're going to have a little bit of a next crisis here. The 20th and 21st, this is going to be when Jupiter squares with Uranus. And Jupiter is in your 7th house, Uranus is in your 4th house. So somehow, either you or you will be hearing about somebody maybe breaking up or moving house. Jupiter kind of wants to split away from, and Uranus wants to split away from something that doesn't work, especially Uranus. Uranus is what separates one from old patterns, and Jupiter is kind of coming into the picture there, and that is your partner, which is the Jupiter in your 7th house. The Uranus is the 4th house. So you might hear about somebody that you care for might be splitting away from a home situation. In that sense, I see that you're all heirs, because for what it does for you is going to trine up to Chiron. So somehow, go figure, only you could answer that, how this will be healing to you when this all falls into place. So I feel that you're going to be there when you hear about it, but you'll be the supporter of this, okay? So it's not necessarily you and a partner splitting, but somebody that you may be hearing about. Then we have the 24th. Venus and Pluto, this is your then 10th house, and Pluto your 1st house, could have something to do with money matters and work, or some changes going on at work. Pluto is always a point of transformation. Now, Venus wants to do this, but Pluto is saying, no, you can't have that now, because this is coming in. So there might have to be some sacrifices or some tweaking needing to be done. You might feel it and how that might affect you financially, but I see that this is also going to kind of turn around. You'll know more by the end of the month. But this is where we're also talking more on the emotional and the spiritual side of what Pluto and Venus really entails. Because we're talking dates, we're talking house areas where the scene will be taking place and what you can expect from it. But how you're going to feel and how to work with these energies, that's different. So we go through that more on the audio scopes. We have a misunderstanding coming up on the 25th. I want you to be a little bit aware of, so that you're speaking clearly on this day, because there's a little aftermath from this misunderstanding. It's Mercury and Neptune that are opposing one another. So, and I've said it to the other sun signs here too, that one may say something and the other one may be picking it up and hearing it differently from what you meant. Or you could be picking up something somebody says and kind of interpret it differently because it was muddled. You know, Neptune, when she's not in a good place, she becomes very muddy and foggy and distorting everything of that clear communication. And that's going to have to be worked through the next day on the 26th. But then it looks like somebody took some action somewhere because of what was said, and now that's going to have to be reworked too. So between the 25th and 27th, yes, we have another little challenge there. Just be aware. Then we have Mars moving out of this area of love and relationships and commitments. It's going to go into your 8th house, so you'll see how that is going to intensify. Mars loves being in the sign of Leo because they work together really well. They're both fire signs, and it's in the house of Scorpio, and Scorpio can deal with Mars pretty well because its ruler is Pluto, and that's the higher octave of Mars. So coming into this 8th house, I just see a lot of intensity. There's a lot of intimacy. It's really going to be a time when you're going to be working to the nitty-gritty inner core of yourself or your partner and those things that you opened up for here in August. But we're going to talk more about that next month, because this is the 28th, the last 2 days of the month. But you might feel the shift taking place there. And then the end of the month, looking back, you will probably feel that you did a great job because Mercury and Pluto are friendly. And Pluto's that point of transformation, and you will see how your Mercury has been working through, really thinking here how to, be on top of and take certain actions this month that might have had you needing to kind of act on the spur of the moment. And you've done really good, Capricorn. But then again, see, Saturn, so you take responsibility really, really well. So what else can we say here at the very end of your chart? We have that full moon, 20th of August, which is going to fall in your 2nd house. I think I mentioned that for income, you might, harvest something that you've been working for. That would be the day to mark on your chart. And do pay attention to that new moon on August 6th. This is a time where you can actually say that you do want more intensity in the intimate areas of your life, so that you can explore one another deeper, more profoundly as well, and playfully, not to mention, because this new moon is in Leo. So this is pretty much what we had for you, Capricorn, this month. So do listen, as always, to your moon sign and your rising sign, as your moon sign will reflect what's coming up more so that you can expect on the emotional, and then also what's coming out, what you're going to be giving out through your rising sign. That is what's rising in your chart. So I will see you next month. Bye for now.